Hi, I'm Kelly Vaughn, and welcome to Inside Indy. And they say it's a seller's market right now, right? When it comes to home buying and selling here in Indianapolis and across the country. And for folks like that, they're just buying and selling, it's quite attainable. But home ownership is not attainable for everybody. But there is hope, and there is a way for those who may face particular challenges in owning a home. And here to talk about that and more is Jim Morris, and you are President and CEO of the Greater Indy Habitat for Humanity, right?
Yes, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. We've all heard about Habitat for Humanity at some point. I've seen television stories and commercials and things like that. But just in case there's somebody out there
Right.
who has no idea who you are, tell everybody what Habitat for Humanity is.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that the name is well known. But I think, for us, one of the things that isn't as well known for Habitat for Humanity is the mission says we bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. And it all began in a very small town in southern Georgia called Americus, Georgia. And it was on an interracial Christian farm that it began. All the way back in 1942 is when the farm began, and then the idea of Habitat for Humanity came out of that farm. The need for housing was recognized in this little southern Georgia farm, and that's where it was sort of the birthplace of Habitat for Humanity. So Linda and Millard Fuller, who helped found the ministry back then. So it was about, in the late 60s is when they arrived to the farm. And heat of civil rights movement and the things that were happening in the South. And out of there came this hopeful mission to provide home ownership and to see housing as a need, as a way to provide stability for families back then. Habitat became official in 1976, and now it's worldwide in 70 plus countries and throughout the United States as well. And then we've been operating since 1987.
Wow, okay.
In this space.
Okay, now, hey, I didn't know it went back that far.
Sure.
Now, of course, the times that I have heard about Habitat for Humanity, part of my impression is, the community comes together and builds this house for free, and they're giving the house away. Is that the case? What is happening there?
You got the first part right.
Okay.
So the community is definitely coming together, and I was just actually had the chance before coming and being a part of the conversation here with families that are purchasing through us. So they are actually buying the home through our program. So the community still comes together, and that started when we began the whole ministry. It started with sort of like an old barn raising, people coming around, walking alongside somebody who was in need for a home. That still happens through volunteerism, through faith partners and companies that come out and volunteer. And then the family is actually coming in and purchasing. They're just purchasing because they're not able to purchase in the marketplace through the traditional means, either because of income or other circumstances that prevent them from doing so. So through Habitat, we do a pre-home buying training. So these are all first-time home buyers. Therefore, we want them to be long-term successful. So we, budgeting and financing and all those things are taught through our program. And then we're also the mortgage company. So Habitat acts in place as the mortgage organization, and we do it in a no-interest form.
Oh, wow.
So they're purchasing a mortgage with no interest in that space.
Okay, now when they're buying the home, is it usually one that's being built, or are they there from the beginning, or here's a house that the donors and volunteers have come together and it's done and I want to buy that one? Or does it vary?
No, it's a great question. So they come into the program seeking to become homeowners and going through, it's affectionately been called sweat equity. So in lieu of a major down payment like we would traditionally do in the marketplace, they participate through classes and so forth. And so when they enter the program to become a buyer and go through the training and then participate on their own home by building their own home along with the volunteers, they'll select geographically where they may want to live. So they may have grown up in a particular part of the region and want to live there from that county, say in Marion County. And then if we look for land and or homes to acquire and rehabilitate, and then that's how they select. So there's some option there. Obviously, not as much option as is available because we're looking for the land, trying to keep costs down to be able to provide this in an attainable way for the family. But so they get a little bit of ability to select either the land, and then they participate with the build with the volunteers.
Okay. Well, I have 1,000 questions that are going in my head right now. So you talked about the training. So what is it? Because you do see people, that just seems to be just every day for them. They buy a home, they sell a home, and this is a seller's market now, and people are, it's just crazy right now. We have a couple of real estate shows here, and it's just insane. So what is it that those who struggle with attaining a home, what is it that they don't know? And I don't mean that in a condescending way, because I'm telling you, I've built 2 homes, but when I built my second one, I still didn't get it, like about credit scores.
Sure.
Because sometimes when you've got money and you don't need credit, you don't until you buy a house.
Right.
Then you go, oh, that's important, but I don't even want to use credit cards. So even when you have a house, it's still things you don't know and understand. So what do they learn in the training, and what's usually missing?
Well, since they're first-time buyers, and what we've seen where they're coming from, they may have not known home ownership even generationally.
Exactly.
So they may be coming from a place where they've only known rental. So part of it is helping them learn what it means to own their home. They're all seeking this, of course, but it could be anything from just taking care of the home. Hey, the water heater no longer will be prepared by the landlord. It's now your water heater. It's your filter to change. That's the small things of ownership that we all know. Taking care of the property, learning how to take care of even small drywall and things of that nature. And then there's the financial aspect of it that they're learning, the budgeting, the financing, the understanding that the mortgage is so much a part of now their financial future, both from the benefits of ownership and then also from the obligations of ownership, and making sure that that's a part of their language now that they have to learn to become successful long term. And we've done some impact studies and to understand, and many of the buyers predominantly stay a very long time or forever in this. Is their forever home that they're buying. So they want to know how to take care of it in the best manner possible. And so much of it is a very basic financing and budgeting to just taking care of the home and understanding that this is as you I'm sure well aware, it's a living, breathing, have to take care of it, have to maintain it. Another part of the family.
That's a whole nother show.
That's right.
Home ownership is no joke. As my friend Fran Daniels says, this ain't for punks. That's what she tells me about just cleaning a house. You go, oh my gosh, how do you do all this?
Yeah.
It's a lot to keep up. So then I would take that they're very excited about it and the benefits to it. So what do you tell them the benefits of home ownership? Because I want the people who are watching, there may be people out there who are watching going, who may not even realize like, oh wow, this would be awesome for me.
Yeah, I think if we summed it up in one word, it'd be stability. The stability of ownership. And we talk financially, to become financially stable. Ownership can offer the benefit of, we of course are providing that no interest mortgage. So we're trying to keep the affordability in that space for the family so that they can create some future cash flows for them, some future opportunities to whatever they aspire. For many, it might be going back to education. It might be helping their kids get better education. Being stable financially is a great start. And then the stability of being in your home, the home that you own, in a neighborhood that's secure and safe, and in one school system for your kids, that stability too really helps to provide that pride of ownership that they can do. And I was just meeting with some of the family members earlier today, and a lot will tell you though, if you ask, they'll say, I want to be able to host Thanksgiving in my home, right? Or I want to be able to host a birthday party. And that's what we all remember, is the memories that are generated from being a homeowner, whether we grew up in a home or didn't, but those memories are what they want to create. And so yes, to the financial benefits of home ownership, right? And there are many documented benefits, and also the memories that are created there.
You hear them say that on HGTV a lot, like,
Right.
you're happily ever after, and you create great memories, at the close of the show,
Yeah.
So, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, and, and you mentioned home ownership versus renting a property, and I would think one of the biggest benefits is, you're building equity.
That's right. That's
And
right. Yeah.
after 20, 30 years, you have something to show for the money you've put into the house, as opposed to renting something or an apartment. What do you have to show for?
Absolutely. And again, not everyone is in a position where ownership is a part of their journey and their next step. And renting can be a great place for those who do want ownership. To your point, that again, that stability financially can help you build the equity. We've been in existence for 34 years now, and we have many homeowners who are paying off that mortgage. So they're coming through, and we have probably close to 130 families now who've paid off their mortgage, because we've been around, and that 20 to 30 year mortgages are starting to come.
Okay.
So they now fully own their home, which we all aspire to, and no more mortgage payments for them. And they now have this asset that they can either pass down generationally or pass through, or be able to use in a way that benefits them in retirement, in that next phase.
Okay, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about generational wealth, when it's passed down to one generation to the other, and much more, how to volunteer, how to be a donor, and we're going to talk about the Restore shop. Yes, definitely, when we come back.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
And we're back here on Inside Indy, and we've been talking about Habitat for Humanity with Jim Morris, who is the president and CEO. And Jim, now you serve what counties?
So we serve Marion, Hendricks, Hancock, and Hamilton counties.
Okay. Wanted to kind of make that clear for those who are watching, because we reach all of central Indiana, north of Kokomo, south of Bloomington. So we go pretty far out as far as our signal goes. But when people are watching, they may be going, hey, I want to be involved in that. And so how does one get involved? What are the qualifications to be a part of Habitat Humanity's effort to build a house?
Yeah, so there's three kind of pillars, or three things that mainly we look for, and income is a starter. So there's a financial need. So the individual or family is not able to go to the market, bank, credit, and obtain a loan in the traditional sense. They may not have, we're talking either credit score, they may not have some of the things necessary, down payment, income level that allows them to purchase homes. So we ask them to reach out to us in that case to see, and what we find is many still don't think that they can do it. And the families who've come through, and that's the number one thing they always say, stop right there, don't do that to yourself, let yourself know that to reach out and simply ask, engage.
You say they don't think they can do it. So what do you hear them say? Why do they think they can't?
I think there's a sense of that ownership seems unapproachable. It doesn't seem that they are able to have a home that they can own, because either they've not known it generationally, or they've even been told that that's not something that you can attain, that it's out of reach for whatever they are in the workforce, that they're not able to purchase a home. And so we encourage just the opposite, that reach out to Habitat for Humanity, find out if you can qualify through us and what that would look like. And while we serve the 4 counties I mentioned, there are Habitat for Humanity affiliates, as we're known by, throughout the state. And just look for a local Habitat to reach out to and see if you fit in. The other 2 areas are willingness to partner, because as I mentioned, we're asking, to walk alongside. We always talk about, we use prepositions really stress the fact that the family's asking us to come alongside them. We're working with them and supporting them in their endeavor to become a homeowner in that space. And then the ability to pay. So it is a mortgage, as we mentioned earlier. It is not free. So you're paying a mortgage, you're paying your taxes, you're paying your insurance is all a part of your household, costs, but you're just not paying an interest on your mortgage.
Okay, you mentioned it being generational and passing down wealth, or passing down the belief or the pattern of owning a home. And sometimes when people wonder about things in people's past, especially when it comes to underserved communities due to oppression, and they wonder, well, why can't they just pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or how come they, and it's because nobody talked about that over the dinner table. And you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you're also sometimes, ostracized from the mainstream, you don't pick up on those cues. And I would say, as a minority, I know a lot of times for me, and working in the media, I've been exposed to things that a lot of people would never be exposed to.
Right.
Or maybe people I grew up with, because I'm in certain circles. So whether it's, or even, I would say even not just being black, but being a woman, because oftentimes when I worked in radio, it was always men. I'd be in a room there's Kelly and 5 white guys. It was always that way. So I'm hearing what they're saying. I'm learning, I'm learning the language. I'm learning the way people think, the bankers and the this and the that. And if you're way over here, you're never exposed. It's all about exposure. So when people wonder, well, why can't somebody catch up, or why can't they? Well, because you have to be exposed. And if you're sometimes not invited, or you don't have that oomph to invite yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to get in on this meeting, and I guess you are going to hear me, or I'm going to stick my head in the door and be a part of this. So I can just see where people would be, not to mention the fear. You see that, a lot of fear?
We do. I think the fear usually is just not knowing. It's either language or understanding what it takes. And sometimes the fact that they're coming alongside and going to take some classes on understanding how to become a homeowner, that can seem intimidating. I'm working, I may be a single parent, have kids, and we do as much as we can to surround that individual and that family during that time. And that's why we stress this is a community. We bring people together as part of our mission. We really look at that as the heartbeat of who we are. So all the way back to our founding, that's what it was about. It was about community. It was about supporting each other. And sometimes you need an organization in today's world like ours to come and do that intentionally, to be with somebody, to provide them the language and the understanding of what it takes. And each time we see that you said that oomph, that victory of crossing the finish line of that journey, handing over the keys, they're now buying a home. It's every time. It's magical to see at that dedication.
Right, I know. Yeah, I remember when I bought my first home, and then when I realized, there are shrubs and grass cutting, and I got over that.
Yeah.
Welcome to homeownership.
Welcome. Yeah.
Now, what about people who want to volunteer to help build the home? What are the volunteers doing, and how can one become a volunteer?
We volunteerism's been so much part of who we are, and we, through your church, getting your church involved, your company, you as an individual reaching out to us and connecting. You can call us. You can go to our website, which is indyhabitat.org, and learn how to volunteer. And you have to have 0 skills. to come out.
Really?
So we're not expecting you to have carpentry skills or be a licensed contractor. We welcome those
I
folks.
bet you learn a few things, huh?
You definitely do. You will be guaranteed that when you walk away from the day,
If you're not a carpenter, you will be.
you're going to learn. You're going to learn. And that's part of the enjoyment, is not only walking alongside your fellow community member and engaging with the family, but also you might learn how to put on siding that day. Many of us know how to paint or have painted, but we do all of the things that go into home building you can be a part of. Some of the licensed things like electrical or plumbing obviously are done by professionals, but those who come alongside for the day don't have to bring any skills or have been on the job site. In fact, most who do, who come for the first time, those are the individuals that get so inspired to go back and work on their own home, even if they have a home.
So how do you become a volunteer?
You can look on the website to learn the different ways. We have openings sometimes throughout the year for individuals, but then a predominant way too that people get involved is through their company. They get their company excited to participate and come out and engage either through helping fund and sponsor in that way, and then they bring out teams from their company or through their churches. And we get, we were founded on, two churches founded us here in the Greater Indy area, and so the church families coming together and participating is another way too that you can get involved in participating out on the job site.
Okay, well, listen, there we have it. If you want to volunteer, there's your answer, and why not do it? And it sure makes you feel good to help someone else in the community. What if people want to donate? And I take it materials or what?
Yeah, so donations, financial are always the number one benefit because that allowed us the freedom to, as you mentioned earlier, housing costs and prices are escalating at a rapid rate. And anyone who's reading anything out there knows lumber's gone up tremendously.
I heard.
And all of the materials have gone up. There are challenges with supply issues and labor has gone up. And so it's sort of a perfect storm, if you will, around costs. So it's an expensive ministry to do. So any kind of contributions financially help. And we're in a position where all the contributed dollars go directly to the program and to the family.
Okay.
And that's because of our Restore, which you mentioned before. And our Restore is a way that we have a more traditional business, if you will, that provides income to our mission and allows us to do the work that we do. And it's a thrift store in the form of home goods and things like you can come and purchase doors, windows, sinks, things that you would use, and then you can also donate material too. So you can, we have people who are demoing their kitchens that seem to be popular now and rehabilitating your kitchen. Well, a lot of that material, the cabinets, the refrigerator, all of those things can be donated to our stores, and then we can repurpose those. We both save them from the landfill, and then that money that we earn from reselling those goes into the mission, allows any money that is donated to go directly to the families.
Wow. So the Habitat store itself, where is it located, and your hours? And I want to go there.
So we've got one.
Take us there.
Yeah, we got one in Fishers and in Avon and Greenfield, and we've got two in Indianapolis. And
Okay. I didn't know you had all those. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
so-
I've driven past one once before.
Yep. And Restore is the brand and the name, and they're open from 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday. And you can walk in, and as I said, it's a kind of fun exploration because you could go looking for something in particular, and you'll find all kinds. We have flooring, all kinds of products that are for your home that are there and available. Appliances, as I mentioned, are there to purchase. And then again, if you're looking to donate, that's a great place to donate. And the benefit is we'll come and pick it up from your home because it's usually the larger items, and they're difficult to just throw in the back of your car. And so you can call us and we'll come and pick it up from you, and then that way we can get it into the stores.
Okay, because I'm looking for some cabinetry, so.
That would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can set you up. I think we're good.
You got the hookup? Okay. I love it. I love it. So let people know again, we're almost out of time, but if they want to be a part of building a house? And then also, who do they contact for volunteer work or for people who want to donate?
So our website's the best place to start, and that's indyhabitat.org. And on that site, you can find out, it's real clear. You just select volunteer, become a volunteer, and it'll take you through the steps to become a volunteer. You can call us too, 317-921-2121, and that'll allow you to connect to somebody and be directed on how to volunteer. Or if you want to become a donor, or your company or church wants to jump in and sponsor, or finding out how to donate to the Restore or find one of the Restores closest to you to buy things.
Okay, it sounds good to me. 760 plus homes and counting. We love it. Jim Morris, President and CEO of Greater Indy Habitat for Humanity. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us here on Inside Indy. I'm Kelly Vaughn, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.